Viva, seja bem-vindo ao espaço de grande entrevista da Sport TV. Poucas horas depois da vitória frente ao Santa Clara, Francesco Farioli recebe-nos no estádio do Dragão. Francesco, bem-vindo à Sport TV. Aqui nesta que é, no fundo, a sua casa. Já se senta em casa no Dragão?
Yeah, sure. And also we choose like a particular area because you choose because here I watched my first game a few years ago against Inter. I was sitting somewhere there. So yeah, it's good to be as well from this part of the stadium, a different perspective, but for sure a place that I feel home.
Como é que se explica a energia do Dragão e dos adeptos do Porto, quando tem de explicar aos seus familiares, aos seus amigos?
No, it's quite easy, and of course, because it's easy when you are here at the stadium. The energy, the noise, and the support is always a great one. But especially, I think you feel the passion for football, and especially for the club when you are walking in the street. If you are in a restaurant, how the people, commit to the club and they really make you feel the importance of what you are doing, the responsibility, and that's I think the best feeling and the best privilege.
Costuma ter a sua família na bancada durante os jogos?
Yeah, always. My wife, my daughter, and my son are always here. We always, especially my daughter is a real portista. Is 24 hours now. I see somewhere La Familia Portista, and there are so many funny things because she's repeating. If you ask who we are, she answers La Familia Portista. So that's really like a big. It's something that is deep inside. At home we have YouTube on the Porto channel almost 12 hours per day. She knows already all the songs and all the anthems of Porto, all the songs that the supporters are doing here. So as you can imagine, is a quite big full immersion, but that's a great feeling. And to be fair, I think this is something that really make you feel the privilege of what we do, and yeah, I could not be more grateful.
Ela já canta a música do Mr. Farioli também, a sua filha?
Yeah, this one as well. This one she started a bit last season, but to be honest, she shifted quite heavily on Porto anthems.
Tem falado muito da questão da família portista, aliás é um slogan que está espalhado também já pelo Dragão. Quais são os critérios obrigatórios para pertencer à família portista?
But I think, and this one was a bit also something that I mentioned in my first press conference, that it was related with the first meeting that I had with the president when he shared with me the values of the club, what he felt it was really important to bring it back here. And yeah, basically, is when we speak about hard work, dedication, commitment, passion, the desire to put braveness and courage on the pitch are all elements that are really part of who I am and the football that I like to see, but especially even more about the person that I am. And I think when I remember clearly, like when the president was speaking and mentioning all these things, like my mind started to process all the information, and I felt immediately that this was the right step for me. And since then, yeah, it has been, it's just 6 months, even though in 6 months, as you know, of course, many things happen. And to be fair, like the other feeling of La Familia Portista is the fact to feel home so fast.
Quando chegou ao Porto, lembro-me perfeitamente do seu primeiro dia de trabalho no Porto, nas imagens que foram mostradas. Para já fez mudanças estruturais no Olival. E para além disso, a sua mensagem para os jogadores, a primeira palestra para os jogadores, fala daquilo que foi uma época do Porto difícil, no ano passado, e também um ano difícil para si. O facto de ambos estarem feridos, magoados da última época, promoveu aqui um casamento perfeito de vontades para esta época?
Perfect, I don't know. We will see in a while, but for sure it was. I told you the first meeting that I had with the president was really a special one in the way that I think we both connect about certain things immediately. As you said, the last seasons for Porto were not the easiest one. As well, from my side, I was coming from a season that has been, in my opinion, a great season, of course, with something that is difficult to describe what happened in the last month. But anyway, in general, with a bit cold mind, I will say a positive one. But of course, the pain of what happened in the last month is something that will stay with me forever. I cannot deny this one. And you know, after with a cold mind, you try to make a reflection, to analyze, to try to find answer, even though sometimes also you need to accept things and not to question it that much. Maybe was not the moment. And yeah, and from there to try to learn, for sure to understand, even if it was not necessary, because we really push a lot this dynamic that is never over till the moment that is over, and that's all. So from there to move on, my first words to the team were very clear. We spoke about our scarves that we had, that as I said, is not something to be shamed, but it's something that, in my opinion, has to be on our skin as a memory, and maybe not a good one, but as well to understand that it's part of life and part of sport, especially to live as well things or experience and moments that make you disappointed. And this one, I think, needs to be an extra motivation, needs to be a petrol, needs to be our constant hunger to get better and to improve ourselves daily.
Uma coisa é certa, do ponto de vista defensivo, as suas equipas, tanto no Nice como no Ajax, acabaram a época com o melhor registro defensivo dos campeonatos. Há uns tempos, depois de ter jogado frente ao Tondela, em Tondela, o Bacci, o técnico do Tondela, o italiano Bacci, disse que o Farioli não era um treinador italiano. Ouviu essa declaração? Considera-se um treinador italiano ou nem por isso? Ou percebeu este enquadramento?
No, I think is a mix of experiences.
Ou isso já não existe propriamente?
No, maybe yes. Like I believe, like every country somehow has his own stamp. But the fact that I travel already in so many countries and played in so many and coached in so many different leagues made myself a bit like a globetrotter. Also, the people that are with me in the staff coming from all over the world. At the end, I think we are a really international staff. To be fair, and this one, in my opinion, I see this one as a strength. Of course, there are also somehow difficulties because in the staff many different culture, somehow different languages. So, but what we win in the other side, you know, to have I think different approach, different feelings, different taste as well. Somehow, or let's say a different taste about maybe small details. I think made us like a more rounded group, more complete, more complementary group, where people has opinions, different opinions, possibility to discuss. So I think this one is something really special. It's something that I wanted since my first job. When I started, I wanted to have a strong technical staff. I tell you one anecdote. In my first club, when I got I went into the negotiation. They proposed me like an amount for myself and to bring one assistant, and I decided not to get €1 for my first job and to split that amount to bring 5-6 people with me to work and to try to deliver the job. So I think this one says enough about how much the staff could affect and could impact. And I think this season, one more time, the job that the technical staff is doing is unreal. The impact that they are having is a massive one in terms of development, individual development, collective development, as well. You know, to be close enough with the players to get their feelings, their humor. So at the end, to try to live a successful season, so many things need to be in the right spot and can never be me just the job of one person, but is always the work of so many people and everybody with a certain contribution, with a certain impact in the daily job. And here I mentioned the technical stuff, but after, if I make my analysis a bit wider, the impact of the performance, the medical, the support staff, the people that are working in the club, from Jardel, that is our kitman, so energetic, always so passionate about everything that he's doing, on top of really small details that you cannot imagine, and of course going till the president, that is our reference, and of course the person that is leading this club with an incredible posture, an incredible attitude, and an incredible commitment to make things happening in the best way possible.
Como é a sua relação com o presidente André Villas-Boas? Já me disse que a sua primeira conversa com ele teve logo um grande impacto, houve uma empatia entre os dois, mas tem aqui um presidente que foi um treinador vitorioso no Porto e, portanto, quando conversa com um presidente que percebe tanto de futebol, que é também treinador, como o Francesco, isso aumenta a sua responsabilidade na conversa, como é que ele lida, ou seja, ele tem dificuldade em evitar falar de futebol consigo ou até gosta que fale de futebol consigo?
Look, this one I think is a very strange situation, because for sure he has been by far the director or the president with the biggest football knowledge. I think what he did in his career as a coach speaks for himself. So. And to be fair, he's the person that I spoke less about tactics, because the reality, my first meeting, as always, I prepare a few things to show. He knew already everything, so it was more about the situation, the environment, how to manage things. So I think the first time that I opened a computer to show him something, it was when I was already here in Porto. So that says a lot about his preparation, and especially I think the respect that he has for the job, and for a job that he did, and he did really well. Our communication is very open, very direct. Of course, we see things clearly from two different angles, and I think this one make the conversation richer. He's very present as well, coming to Olival at least 1 or 2 times per week. Before in every match day -1 is there. He show up, he shake hands, always with an important energy. So to be fair, I could not ask for a better president, or a person that is more present than him, and above all, more than the role and what he represents. I think we are having like a very good human connection. Usually we send message to each other, of course, to speak about football quite late in the night. Sometimes at 6 o'clock when I wake up, there is already a message from him to speak about a player, to speak about a situation, or how we can do things better. I came here with a tag of being a really hard worker coach, and somehow here I feel there are people that are the same or even more, so that's unbelievable. And I speak for the president, but as well I speak for Thiago, Enrique, the people that are closer to him. I think it's very clear who they are, who we are, where we want to go, and I think there is no better way to lead than to lead by example, to go back to your previous question.
Ele tem a tentação de lhe dar algumas opiniões sobre a prestação da equipa dentro do campo, e o Farioli aceita isso ou não faz isso de todo?
No, we speak, of course, we speak about the performance of the team, how we see the games, the feeling, in which moment we are. Sometimes if there are things that we feel that we have to improve or to get better. I'm a person that likes to listen and like to receive feedback. I give you one example, and in the first in one of our first meeting, the president said that for him, Samu cannot defend in the lateral, in the corner, in the zonal marking, in the first post. And to be fair, I went back to see a few things. I got the advice, and as you know, someone is never there. So sometimes there are feelings, and especially when you arrive, if you believe in the people and if you have faith in what the people are telling to you, can help to speed up somehow the process. After, I think it's always important to be to arrive with a fresh mind, to have as well our own evaluation, but as well, you know, to get some tips somewhere around. I think is really important. As I told you, I'm a person that likes to listen, likes to have to create and to generate a collaborative way of working. I believe a lot because if not, also make no sense to have a technical staff so big and every day is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and everybody needs to add something. Of course, with the respect of their role, but I believe that everybody can contribute in the big puzzle to add the right piece in the right position.
Nesse aspecto, a questão física é muito importante, o preparador físico também é muito importante. A sua ideia de jogo e a forma como a equipa se entregou logo no início foi muito marcante. Fisicamente, uma ideia exigente. E o Farioli falou disso várias vezes nas conferências de imprensa de início de época, dizendo que a equipa pode pagar uma fatura mais à frente. Essa questão física é uma preocupação para a segunda volta?
So for sure it's important. The physical element for me, I will say, is one of the main ones, no doubt, in the work that we are putting on the pitch, in the profile of players that we have to look for, in the development of the players that we have. So that's for me something that I cannot deny the fact that I'm paranoid with the physicality of the game and the trajectory of where football is going. I think is quite clear. So there is nothing that we are going to discover. Just analyze where we are and where things are and the trajectory, and from there I think you need to take the certain decisions. So far in all the games we run always more than the opponent. We outrun the opponent by 3, 4, 5, sometimes even 8 or 9 kilometers. That is a massive number. It means that it's almost to play with one player more. And of course, like we laugh a lot about the fact that when you play with Vitor, you have, you know, of course, an incredible output, but the reality that these numbers and this energy and physicality that the players is bringing on the pitch is coming from the work of everybody. We have the center backs that are often above 11 kilometers to try to squeeze the team and to be high up on the pitch. The strikers that they are pushing a lot to put the pressure in front, and when is the moment to retreat, they are working without the ball. The amount of runs, even to attack sometimes teams that are defending in a low block, you know, to outrun the opponent, to keep stretching the defensive line with runs, sometimes not to receive the ball but to open different spaces. I believe it's a key. That's why I believe a lot in the physical capacity to deliver certain things, to have players that are capable to do it, and after the other part is the desire to do it. That as well is something important, and to do that I think you need to be fresh. You need to be fresh in the legs, fresh in the mind, and that's why as well I believe a lot in the importance of the entire squad, to try to rotate the players, to try to have everybody always ready, competitive, and also because this one keep everybody involved, and by having everybody involved, also the training sessions are going to be more intense and more and let's say with a different dynamics, and I believe in the final picture this one can make a quite relevant difference.
Esta vantagem pontual que o Porto tem nesta altura, e o Farioli tem falado da maratona, agora como uma imagem forte, eu diria que para dentro e também para os adeptos, mas é impossível os adeptos não olharem para a classificação e não verem esta vantagem de 7 pontos para um rival, de 10 para o outro. O maior risco que o Porto corre nesta altura é que os adeptos e que a estrutura possa olhar para a vantagem como definitiva?
No, I believe that the supporters and I think the type of support that we receive, for example, in the airport last day when we depart to go to Azor, and yesterday night when we came back as well. It's not about the fact that they are celebrating something. No, it's about to give us the right boost, to give us the right feeling, to give us somehow also a reminder about the scarf that we all have, and I think they just want to transfer us a great desire, a great feeling, and I never felt that there is a celebration going on. I think here everybody knows where we want to go. We are all connected on the same page, and this enthusiasm and this adrenaline that is around the city, I think is something that we need to keep working to make it grow and to make it special. And I think our supporters are doing honestly a great job when we play at Dragão and when we play away. That let me say the majority of the time is like to play at home.
José Mourinho, o técnico do Benfica, falou há pouco tempo do facto de o Porto estar a fazer uma primeira volta anormal no bom sentido, porque de facto apenas deixou fugir 2 pontos. Rui Borges, o técnico do Sporting, também recentemente falou do mérito que o Porto tem por ir na frente e não escondeu, falando de uma época muito positiva que o Porto está a fazer. Como é que recolhe estes elogios dos rivais? Sente-os como genuínos ou olha com desconfiança?
No, I believe the words of Mr. Mourinho, I think, are facts. It's not it's something that is absolutely clear. Of course, unfortunately, let me say, the mid-season records are not.
Não dão troféus, não é?
Yeah, are not giving us, any titles or any extra advantage. So I think what we are doing is special. It's a fact. But as I mentioned, this is not something to really celebrate. It's not something to stay on that, because now what is done, and now we need to look for the future. The future is the near future is a month of January that is going to be a really important one, a cup match, of course, that is a special one for many different reason, a derby here at home, a game that is in or out already. We are going to play important matches in the league, and you know that in this league the reality you cannot drop anything, because even with a journey that so far has been extraordinary, everything is still open. The other rivals are there, and they will compete till the end. And as well, of course, 2 really important matches in Europa League. The opportunity and the desire to try to qualify in the top 8 is something so important, of course, to qualify, but as well to try to skip the playoff that are 2 matches that in a very crowded schedule, if we can find a way to skip it, is going to be absolutely important. So yeah, many things to do, a lot of work that needs to be done, and as I told you, not too much time to honestly to make self-celebration, and as you know, from tomorrow morning we will travel to Algarve to push hard, get again an important physical condition, refresh our mind, bring everybody together, players as well. We will travel with our families to have a moment of work, but as well a moment where we can connect even more in between all of us, because yeah, I do believe that when I see La Familia Portista is the supporters, is the group of players, but as well the people that are with us daily, the people that are waiting us at home when we come back from work, and they are definitely playing a key role in our life, and yeah, will be great to have them with us for a few days.
A forma como o Porto começou a temporada, e já falei há pouco dessa intensidade que o Porto colocou em campo, nem sempre tem surgido tão facilmente nos jogos mais recentes, e a equipa não raras vezes tem tido algumas dificuldades, consegue vencer, mas as exibições podem não ser tão vistosas como noutra fase da temporada. E houve jogos em que, por exemplo, e se estiver errado diga-me, mas quando o adversário consegue bloquear o 6, a posição 6 que é muito importante nesta sua ideia, ou até os médios interiores, o Porto teve mais dificuldades. Foi obrigado também, já está num processo de mudança, criação de novas dinâmicas dentro da equipa para contrariar isto?
But yeah, in reality, so yes, of course we face difficulties or difficult matches. I think it's quite normal.
É normal, não é?
Yeah, and we are not the only one to face difficulties because we play in a league that is a very competitive one with very good coaches that are really well prepared. As you know, the teams that are playing in Europe, they don't have also too much time to train, so it's really complicated to keep the fitness, the energy, and to prepare football matches sometimes with less than. Sometimes with one training session, sometimes it happens to prepare the game just by video or to prepare in the morning of the game a few things here like 15 minutes on the pitch. So at the end, the job of coaches that are playing in of big clubs that are playing in European competition is of course to add ideas, but let me say, in my opinion, sometimes also to try to be really efficient in what to choose, what to do, because you don't have time, not that much, and you need to be, in my opinion, really good in being efficient in deliver the message. And this one goes with the way of deliver the training session, the time that you spend in the meeting room. As you know, it became like quite a funny story about the length of our meetings. There is a funny story of Eustachio that is used to say that we are doing like Netflix series in our meeting room. That, by the way, has been one of my first requests to the club to have a proper meeting room. I think you saw one image at the beginning. We were in the gym, and now the club support my request to build a really nice environment where we are spending quite a lot of time. Is one of the places that is for us more important, because there we build our ideas, we correct our ideas, we confront each other. So yeah, there are so many things that are at the end are key factors in the long run, that of course is to add new ideas, but as well sometimes to do well the things, because that's also really important to refine, to go into the details, and you know, this season we changed quite a lot. We changed more than 10 players, so yeah, to bring the people together so fast, I think has been something really good. And now of course we have necessity to get better, necessity to do the things even better, but let me say another target is not to drop our standard and our as well patience. Sometimes when the game became complicated, to stay in the game, to stay focused, and to keep doing the things well and increase the rhythm.
O Tiago Silva já chegou, já esteve no Dragão, já há imagens disso, pelo palmarés que tem, e o Farioli já disse que ele chega com humildade para aceitar e para ter de trabalhar para conquistar um lugar, mas naturalmente olhamos para o palmarés do Tiago e dificilmente o imaginamos no banco. É um jogador que tem uma capacidade de trabalho brutal e uma qualidade também indiscutível. Nesse sentido, receia que ele possa criar ruído numa estabilidade que existe já na linha defensiva?
No, I think he's going to add experience, he's going to add qualities. As I said, I believe a lot in management of the game, to share physical and mental resources, and you know, so here nobody is discussing the palmarès of Thiago, what he did in the past, what he did in the recent matches, because if not, was not going to be here if the last matches were not at a certain level, if he was not going to be here if his mindset in the conversation that we had really proved that the fact that he's coming here to help the team, to support the team. As I told you, with him I didn't promise anything. I say I want you here to help the team, if he's to play all the matches or if to play 5 minutes at the end of the game. And he's totally aware. He has, of course, the ambition to somehow to close a circle because he started his European career here in Porto Bay. He won here in Dragão the Champions League. So he's coming here, of course, with a clear mindset. As well, he has an important target that is to play the World Cup and to be ready and to be fit for the World Cup, for the Summer World Cup. So yeah, I think everything is there, but above all, his mentality, his commitment. Yesterday, when I met him for the first time, he had a big smile, a lot of energy, and this is what we need. And yeah, really curious to start to work with him from tomorrow with a player that probably I think he has been, and he is one of the top 5 defender in the story of football.
Estamos na reta final da nossa entrevista. Perguntas sobre alguns jogadores que eu lhe queria fazer agora, para respostas mais concisas, mais rápidas, mas relevantes ainda assim. Samu. Nota-se que Samu cresceu muito desde que a sua equipa técnica chegou aqui ao Porto, sobretudo na forma como consegue agora ligar mais com a equipa. Como é que tem sido esse trabalho com o Samu? É um trabalho que vai em que fase? Longe de estar acabado ainda?
No, I think he's improving a lot. Honestly, this one thanks to his commitment, his mindset. At the beginning of the season, of course, we had some difficulties to somehow make him feel the possible benefit of what we were doing. At the end, Samu he's incredible. He's a player that when he attacks the space or when he's into the box, is already an elite striker. But of course, for a team that wants to be dominant or that has the capacity to play in the opposite half, there are as well a few things that he had to improve.
No que é que ele já melhorou, na sua opinião?
Yeah, he's improving a lot. He's working a lot. First, he understood the benefit. That is something that is going to make him a more complete striker, a striker that in the future, in my opinion, he can play at the highest level in the top 3 teams in the world. So if having this ambition for a young players like him, I think there is no alternative than to improve, than to work, and again his openness to this one. To accept to do sometimes also some individual works that maybe you do in the under 13 requires a lot of humbleness, a lot of self-reflection and self-awareness, and in this part I think Samu honestly surprised me a lot because he's doing great, he's working really good, he's getting physically better every day, capable to compete with the capacity to repeat intense action with more frequency, to press like a beast, to run back when is the moment to run back. And also yesterday I think it was a proof of his moment and his capacity to become a more rounded striker. In this one, I will mention as well the importance of Luke and Dennis. Luke, with his experience, it took several conversations with him to explain a few things, to make him feel the importance of certain things. So, as I said, everybody here so far is playing a very special role, and hopefully for this 2026, this is something that definitely we need to keep and to do more and better in the next months.
Froholt ainda o surpreende? Há números do Froholt até nos treinos que ainda surpreendem um treinador?
So, as I told you, this was a player that I didn't know him. So when the president and the scouting department, they mentioned him, I went to see a few games. I got impressed from a few things. But to be fair, to see him on video and to see him on and to have him live, and as well his capacity to develop so fast and to understand so fast is something that honestly went over my best expectations. So again, I'm glad for his evolution. To have him with us, and as well how much he's growing in terms of personality leadership, and I think I will never forget the first game that he played here in Dragão when he went out, all the stadium already out, and since then I think the connection is something that is growing, and yeah, I think he's definitely a player with the pure and absolute the Porto DNA definition is there.
Rodrigo Mora não saiu, foi, na sua opinião, a melhor decisão para ele, e Rodrigo Mora cresceu também como homem, como jogador, depois de uma fase difícil. Lembro-me, por exemplo, no jogo de apresentação, falava-se muito da possível saída de Rodrigo Mora. Os adeptos tinham uma expectativa também sobre Mora a jogar mais de início do que aconteceu no início da época. Ele entrou até olhando para o chão, cabisbaixo, no jogo de apresentação. É agora um Mora mais feliz e também foi capaz de o entender a si, ao treinador?
Look, with Rodrigo, if you speak about positive surprises, I think this one has been another one. So Rodrigo last season, he was the golden boy, he was the superstar. He did things unreal for a player of his age. And this season, of course, coming back from the World Cup, few changes, new players, especially a new way of playing that require a certain adaptation. And for him, but I think for everybody, for myself as well, for the club, for the supporters, to try to understand what was going on wasn't easy, but especially it wasn't easy for him because he started again, or he approached this season with the status of superstar. Somehow at the beginning, he didn't have an important role or not maybe a main role, or the feeling that was not a main role. You know what happened in the market, all the rumors about Saudi Arabia, massive amount of money involved for the club, for him. And to be honest, when we speak at the end of the market, we were very, very clear with each other once again. We set or we agree or we commit each other about how we want to do things in the next months. And from my side, it's quite easy. My role as a coach is to bring people together and to have people together for the best of the club. Ideally, you want to have always 25 players that all of them like soldiers in the same line, same direction. So I think this one is the dream of all the coaches. The difficult part is to find players, but especially human beings, capable to accept their role, capable to accept decision, and capable to develop in areas that are not their strength. So to improve, let's say, in their weak points.
E ele aceitou isso?
And this guy, wow. Day by day, of course, is not the progression that you do 0 to 100 in one day, but every day more and more and more and more. The level of training session, never ever putting a bad face in the training or in the game, accepting to play a few minutes, starting in the game, and to be fair, his impact in the last matches has been fantastic. His evolution for me as a football player and his maturity. For me, this one is the word that if I think about Rodrigo now, the word that goes with him is maturity. Is maturity because he knows which are his individual objective and the things that he needs to get better and the things that he's improving. I can tell you that he's one of the players more committed with the staff in terms of personal development. After the game, all the time he's sharing with my assistant coaches few clips. So he's one of the players that you don't need to show him the clips because at home he's already reviewing his match, analyzing with our sunglasses in the way with the filter that we watch the game. And I think he's doing good, he's doing great, and I'm really grateful and really proud to have a player of these qualities that is putting himself at the service of the club. And in the other side, the responsibility of having one of the greatest Portuguese talent in and the opportunity to try to develop him, to make him better. And again, I have no doubts that the career of Rodrigo is going to be great. But as he said already several times, starting from the desire to do something special for Porto, that his club, and of course he has the ambition to celebrate things here with his club, and after his career will be for sure a fantastic one.
Uma coisa agora talvez menos positiva sobre o futebol português, e já falou disso, e ainda há pouco tempo disse que o clima se está a tornar até algo insustentável acerca das arbitragens. Já disse que em Portugal se fala muito de arbitragens, escreve-se muito sobre arbitragens. Receia que, e os três grandes, todos já falaram de arbitragens ao longo desta época, receia que a segunda volta possa ser pior? Onde é que está o problema? Nos árbitros, neste ruído que os grandes criam à volta dos árbitros? Qual é a sua opinião?
So, for sure is a topic. As I told you, I had in my previous experiences, I will say, a bit of antibodies, because also in Italy, the referees is always a hot topic. Turkey, I think you can imagine, and you saw also recently what is happening or what happened. So yeah, I think I have a quite strong background about this part. So from my side, I'm not. I never put myself in a polemic situation. I think in almost 200 games that I did as a head coach, I think I had 2 yellow cards, or maybe 3. I don't know. So I think I'm behaving quite well, and I respect, and I got respect from the referees, and this is what I like and what I want. But for sure, yes, in Portugal, it's a topic. When I arrive, since day one, I start to see in the social media, starting from the Super Cup and all that. So it's clear that it's a hot topic. As well, I said in a previous press conference, I believe it's a responsibility from everybody to bring the things a bit down, and this one goes maybe with some decision that needs to be taken at a different level, and after from our side I'm speaking about the people that are talking a lot during the week, because I think it's not possible that as soon as the game is over there are already 2-3 TV programs that, more than to speak about the games, they are analyzing the performance of the referees. In the newspaper there are pages and pages of referees analysis. I think will be great for a country like Portugal to have that with so much talent and so much good players and so many good coaches and good teams to speak a bit more about football. But again, of course, what is important, and I think what we all want, is to have fairness in the competition. I mentioned another topic that for me is very relevant, that is the use of the VAR, and it's not just for Portugal, it's in general. I think like years ago when VAR appeared, supposed to be an instrument to help the referee to take better decision, and to make the game more fair and with less mistakes. The reality that today VAR is an instrument to judge the referees. If they got a call from the VAR, they are going to get, let's say, point deduction in their ranking. If they go there and they keep the so everything goes in a system or in a way that everything is instead of helping and facilitating the life of the referees, somehow we are creating, in my opinion, like monsters, in the way that there is a panic about every single decision. And to be honest, because during the training session, not me, but one of my colleagues is refereeing, it's very difficult to manage, because the game every day is getting faster, the speed of the game is crazy. You have action of counter-attack of 80 meters with players sprinting 37, 38 kilometers per hour. It's not easy to be there, so I believe that as a system, the referee, the assistant referees, the fourth man, and as well the VAR and the EVAR needs to be there to support with the priority that is to have a fair game, an honest competition, and to try to minimize the mistakes.
Mas em Portugal sente que é possível ganhar sem falar de arbitragem? Ou pelo que já viu do ambiente, sente que não é possível?
Let's wish for. As I told you, in my side, I would love to speak more about the games. After, of course, we have been involved in some cases that are really difficult to comprehend. I give you one example. I think it was one of the last game here in Dragão. It was an action of Pepe that, yeah, basically it was foul outside of the box, but in reality it was inside of the box. We can discuss if it was foul or not. I went close to the fourth man, and I say, okay, like, just go to the VAR, because if it's foul, is inside of the box, and if it's not foul, is foul against us and yellow card for Pepe. No problem. But we cannot accept to have a free kick while everybody saw that the foul is inside of the box, and after is a question, is foul yes or not? I prefer again to get a yellow card and a free kick against than to have a free kick outside of the box while it's penalty. So for me this is like the part where when I speak about fairness, for me fairness is this one.
Mas os erros, Francesco, resultam, na sua opinião, da qualidade dos árbitros ou do condicionamento dos árbitros?
There are so many things. Honestly, I think it's not easy to be a ref here because the pressure is above the sky. So definitely there is something that I believe, and I have already so many things to do as a coach, so I will not, I think it's not my job to judge or to go. As I told you, I believe there are a few things like the use of the VAR that needs to be assessed, not in Portugal, but in general in the world, and to be used in a different way, and nothing more, and for me to release a little bit the pressure that is on the system, and hopefully again to have a more fair and more honest competition that I think is what everybody, supporters and all the clubs, they would love to have.
Duas questões finais. A primeira, Jorge Costa, um momento marcante. Como é que mantém vivo a presença de Jorge Costa no dia-a-dia do plantel?
To be fair, this one is quite honest. I think we all, even though I didn't have much time unfortunately to spend with him, what George was, and will be for Porto is very clear. You smell his presence everywhere. His legacy will always be here, not just in the t-shirt number 2, but in the way of being, in the way of behaving. I think the fact that all the Portuguese football and internationally the tribute that everybody gave to him, I think says a lot about a legendary and one eternal captain. Last day of the year, the 31, I was at home. I told you we have the YouTube and the Porto channel that is always open, and I went back on the day of my presentation and the first days. So since I traveled from Amsterdam, and George was in almost all the images, being there, try to help me and try to transfer what is Porto, what Porto represent, and in his opinion how I should approach this experience.
Alguma coisa que ele lhe disse que eu tenha marcado?
Yeah, about this, the hard-working mentality, the spirit, the connection with the city, the fact that here to sweat the t-shirt is the not negotiable standard. And yeah, he was with us every day in the training session, watching the training session, enjoying the player, seeing the player suffering, sometimes almost vomiting close to the pitch. what I think has to stay with us, and that's why I think it's not that difficult for us to keep this one. After the game of Atletico Madrid, one of his comment that he shared with Thiago and Enrique, and after they passed to me, unfortunately, in the day that everything happened. George said, we have a team again. Yeah, so that's, I think, is the biggest.
O slogan perfeito para a temporada.
Yes, and this one is the slogan. This one is our commitment, is our responsibility for the memory of George. That, as you know, there is always a flag here in Dragão to keep him with us, but especially again for him, for his family, and for la familia portista. That is who we are, who we want to be, and who we will be.
A luta pelo título também é por ele.
Yeah.
Para terminar, Francesco, a sua paixão pela cidade, pelo clube, pelos adeptos, esta conexão com o clube, obrigam-me a fazer esta questão. Já falou de renovação de contrato com o presidente ou não?
No, we are again now. Is the priority here is to make the things well for the team. We all want to go in the right direction. Maybe it's the first time in my short career where I have the feeling that you can build things on top of things, because so last season, for example, I felt it was impossible to cope with the demands, and here I believe we have a young team. We have a captain that renewed the contract a few days ago and is a top leader, top human being, top professional. So a team that with players that can develop, a few interesting players from the second team that can help us in the future as well. So I think we are in the right path. We are in the right direction. So yeah, keep working together, but especially stay connected to the present and to what is the next step. And the next step is Algarve, with a week of good work. The players, of course, will be maybe not that happy of some extra runs, but for sure they know for what they are doing that. And as I told you, we are all committed with the desire to do a good season and to make our supporters happy.
Podemos combinar uma entrevista para o final da época já com respostas em português?
Yes. Last day I tried my best. Vou a falar.
Muito bem, Francesco, muito obrigado pela presença na Sport TV, foi um gosto. Francesco Farioli connosco no espaço de grande entrevista da Sport TV, no estádio do Dragão, poucas horas depois da vitória sobre o Santa Clara, e no olhar para o que passou na época do Porto e para o que ainda está por chegar. Resta-me agradecer a sua presença, fique bem, fique na nossa companhia.